We're off to a great start. Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to start by thanking each and every one of you for being here, especially the ones of you who knew I would be giving the speech and still decided to show up.
Got him. He's good.
I stand before you here today as Jimmy's cousin, also as his best man, and quite possibly his worst influence.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's my honor to be standing here. I'm very blessed. There are so many guys here who are equally worthy of being best man, and Jimmy asked me because all the other ones said no. So I just wanted to share a little bit about Jimmy. He's an electrician. He's from the greatest family on the planet Earth, the Angel family. He's an avid book reader, a video gamer. He loves the game Terraria, and he has built an entire world that is far bigger than the real-life world he will ever live in. Jimmy also is a big fan of one of my favorite speakers of all time. His name is Papa Ripperger. He's changed my life. He's changed Jimmy's life. And I encourage all of you to listen to Papa Ripperger. And Jimmy's favorite thing of all, more than Papa Ripperger and Terraria, is Fireball. Fireball. So that's coming back later. So I want to start by telling a story about the time that I almost lost Jimmy. When I was a little kid, I was about 7 or 8 years old. Jimmy went to Chicago, visiting from Colorado. He went to Chicago with his family for the 4th of July. And during that trip, I believe it was the 4th of July, Jimmy, it started raining, and Jimmy was swimming in the pool with all his cousins, and it started raining. I wasn't there, so this is what I know from hearing the story. And it started raining, and Jimmy got cold, and he decided to run inside into my grandma's house. And my grandma has this old house in Chicago. It's got a big sliding glass door, and this door is really old. It's made of not the kind of safe glass that when you run, if you hit it, it breaks into little pieces. It's a glass door that's big sheet glass, and when it breaks, it's big old scary like guillotine pieces. And Jimmy was so cold he ran straight through this glass door when he was trying to get inside. And that day, my mom got a call, and I was eating lunch with my family in Colorado Springs. And my mom says to me, "Tommy, you need to pray for your cousin Jimmy. Jimmy is on his way to the hospital right now, and he might die." So Jimmy was my best friend at the time. We did everything together. We rode bikes together. We learned how to ripstick together. And we got in trouble a lot together. And Jimmy had just run through this glass door, and he severed many, many, many parts of his body. He had cuts all over his body. And in the span of a few hours, he lost about 2 quarts of blood, which is enough to kill most adults. And I also want to acknowledge my Uncle Jim, Jimmy's dad. I don't know where he is. Uncle Jim.
Yeah.
And I want to acknowledge my Uncle Mike. Mike, where are you? If it weren't for those 2 men, Jimmy would not be here today. My Uncle Jim and my Uncle Mike, they held Jimmy's cuts that were all over his body, major arteries, and they stopped the blood from coming out, and they took him to the hospital. They had their hands on all his wounds. And Jimmy had so many cuts that he had casts on both legs and one of his arms, and he was in a wheelchair for a very long time. I don't remember how long, but it was a long time. So thank you, Uncle Jim and Uncle Mike, for saving Jimmy's life and giving Sabrina a husband.
Let's go!
Okay, on a less heavy note, I want to tell a quick story about Jimmy and I, how the first time we shared a bed.
I like our first time.
So, it may not have been the first time, it was the most memorable time. And I will say, there's a certain priest, I won't say his name, but he did say the Mass today. Who he cooked us a very delicious meal that night. We were on a retreat, a spiritual retreat to find out our vocations. And this priest, he was just a seminarian at the time, and I don't think it was his fault, but I think he takes the blame on himself. Anyways, me and Jimmy ate that dinner, and we loved it. It was delicious, the most amazing. I think it was pork. It was either pork or fish. It was one of the two. Chicken, something. So then we had a good retreat that night. Jimmy and I went to share a bed, queen size bed, in the guest room. At about 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and I didn't have any time to realize what was happening. I just felt very sick, and I realized that I was soaking wet with things from my body that should have been inside my body, not outside my body. And I think Jimmy was wet too, but it was for me. Anyways, Uncle Jim ended up driving me home. I had bad food poisoning. So he saved the day for me. I ended up coming back later when I felt better. Monsignor Ricardo, who Father Sean mentioned in his homily, was the priest there. He said the Mass. He said a Mass, and we had a good rest of the retreat. But talking about sharing a bed with Jimmy, I just wanted to just quickly share, sing a little song. It's tradition. Forgive me, this is terrible. Same bed, but it feels just a little bit bigger now. Our song on the radio, but it don't sound the same. When our friends talk about you, all it does is just tear me down. As my heart breaks a little when I hear your name. It all just sounds like ooh. Too young, too dumb to realize that I should have bought you Fireball and held your hand. Should have given you all my alcohol when I had the chance. Taking every party, 'cause all you wanted to do was dance. Now my Jimmy's dancing, but he's dancing with a Sabrina. But I would rather end on a holy note, so I'm going to end with a quote from Polishine. Polishine says, in terms of marriage, it takes 3 to make love, not 2. Not Jimmy and Sabrina, 3. You, your spouse, and God. Without God, people only succeed in bringing out the worst in one another. Lovers who have nothing else to do but love each other soon find there's nothing else. Without essential loyalty, life is unfinished. So Jimmy and Sabrina, keep each other holy, keep Christ with you at all times. He is the third person necessary for your successful and holy marriage, and I will be praying for you. So if we could all grab our glasses, toast to Jimmy and Sabrina. Thank you.